How many of you have ever had a friend group that you were never actively left out of, you just felt like you never fit? Despite the fact that I've always made friends quickly, I struggled to feel like I belonged anywhere. From the popular kids who always talk about each other behind their backs, to the weird kids who sit at the back of the class, I've been on every side of the social spectrum. Sitting at the popular kids table in 5th grade, my best friend was sitting across from me, and I saw her lean over to the girl next to her and say something that made the other girl laugh. They looked over at me and giggled again. This moment really changed the way I thought about myself, scarring my image in the morning and picking apart my looks. I even started wearing makeup. I never wanted to be the butt of the joke. On the opposite side, in 6th grade, I had one friend, and we were kind of considered weird by the rest of our class. Getting in trouble with the teachers for not paying enough attention and laughing at the back of the class, it was a stressful time for me because I was the butt of the joke, a lot. During this time when I went home, I felt empty, alone, and anxious. It felt like no matter who I was with or where I was, no one could see the real me, and even if they did, they wouldn't like it. I felt like I could never be myself because it would be socially unacceptable. Too loud, too messy, too talkative, too angry. I felt like these words defined me. I had a teacher when I was younger who used to always yell at me whenever I would try to talk to my friends, and although I'm sure it's extremely frustrating when you're trying to teach and some kid won't stop talking, she told me one time that no one would ever like a little girl who talked too much. I was shocked. Did I really talk too much? Did everyone not like me because of it? Was I the problem? I tried so hard for the rest of the year to not talk unless I had to not talk to my friends and never voice my opinions because I felt like I was annoying. Annoying to my teachers, my friends, and even my parents. Throughout my middle school experience, I've moved schools a lot, which never really gave me the opportunity to settle into a good group. And with the anxiety I've always felt around being alone, I was struggling with feeling that my friends didn't really like me or want me to be included. When I transferred to an online school, my worst fears came true. It's really hard to make friends without interacting in person, at least for me. So for a while, I was alone, traveling to other countries and spending time learning other cultures. I spent a lot of time by myself. I had to be comfortable with the silence, and then I started to enjoy it. At first it was uncomfortable and scary. I remember one time while I was traveling in Austria, I was sitting in my hotel room while my dad was skiing on the mountain, and I was trying to do my homework. But I couldn't focus. My dad had been encouraging me to get out of the hotel room and go explore the town, but I was scared. So I sat in that room, unable to focus or be productive, but also unwilling to leave and go explore. I panicked. My breathing became fast, my heart raced, and I felt like I was caught in a tight cave where I couldn't move. I was so worried that I would never be able to go out and function alone, that I could never go out and be spontaneous because of my fear. The silence felt so heavy after that panic attack. I didn't know how to change my fear. After that day, I started to try and go out and explore more often. I went to the mountain with my dad more and started making friends with the girls on the team. The more I spent time in my own head listening to the good and the bad thoughts, the more I liked being alone. I liked the silence, and most of all, I liked myself. A lot of my anxiety in social situations grew from insecurity. I didn't like who I was, so I surrounded myself with distractions to hide the fact that I hated my own personality. I only felt confident if someone complimented me. All my validation came from others around me. But at some point, when I looked in the mirror, I stopped degrading myself. I stopped caring what others thought about me, especially people who I didn't even care about anyway. Because for a lot of my life, I was a people pleaser, so I was known for avoiding confrontation and constantly sugarcoating things to not hurt feelings. And through the process of learning to appreciate myself, I've learned that it's okay for someone to not like you, because not everyone will, and you don't need to chase their approval. So once I became confident in my own skin, the right people found a way into my life. Coming here was the best thing that happened to me in the last 3 years. I have found some of my favorite people in the world are here, and I have found the most supportive, kind, and friend group I could ever ask for. I remember one of my favorite trips at T, the San Luis Obispo trip. On the car ride down, we screamed music, watched dumb stuff on our phones, did some work, and got lots of candy at the gas station. Although the car ride down was a bit chaotic, it was entertaining, and it was a great segue to an even better trip. I had the most amazing time with my friends, from walking on trails, surfing, visiting historical places, and going to In-N-Out. I finally felt like I had found a place where I belonged, but the difference wasn't in the people I was around. It was in myself. The difference is, I don't need them. I used to need the people around me to create my assurance. Now my assurance doesn't depend on the fleeting feelings of people around me. I don't need to belong anywhere because I belong to myself. That's not to say, however, that they aren't amazing. Never once have I questioned their friendship or kindness, and I've never had to wonder if that compliment was really a compliment. Emmy is the person who always asks how my day was and keeps up with drama at home. She always gives me a hug when I'm not feeling it. I remember one Tuesday in art, after a bit of a rough night at home, I walked into class without my usual smile and loud greeting. Emmy immediately perked up, and when I sat down and was out of earshot, she quietly asked, "Are you okay?" I wasn't in the mood to fake it, so I said, "Not really, honestly." "Do you want to talk about it?" she asked. "It's not really something I can say, you know," I replied, "Okay, well, if there's anything I can do to help you, just let me know," she said while holding my hand reassuringly. Gigi has the perfect balance between knowing when to make me laugh and when to listen and just say, "I'm sorry that happened to you." After the winter dance, Emmy, Gigi, and I were having a sleepover and watching movies, and when I started to get tired, Gigi and Emmy were both quieter so I could sleep while they were watching Jaws. Scarlett has amazing control and is so passionate about dance and has amazing energy. It's really inspiring. One time we were having a worm competition, and obviously Scarlett was winning, and when I attempted, I ended up landing flat on my face. We all laughed, and I did not try again. Evie always has a smile, and it's always fun when she goes along with my ridiculous jokes, even if they are a bit out of pocket. On the Klamath trip, we ended up being the only girls from our friend group going, and we really bonded over that time, especially when she let me borrow her socks every day because I forgot warm ones. Everett and Royce have been so much fun to hang out with, and even when they steal my candy or snatch my food, it's always funny. I say this specifically because I remember one day I had a bunch of candy in my lunch. I usually really don't mind sharing my snacks, but candy is a different story. I'm very protective of my treats, as all my friends can attest to. So when we were playing Foursquare and I turned to get some candy from my lunch, I saw none other than Everett crouched over my lunch, shamelessly plundering my sweets. When confronted, he just said, "I was hungry." I could have never found this amazing community of people if I hadn't stepped out of my comfort zone and tried something new. And 7th grade was so much better when I did. T really cultivates such amazing opportunities, and I think all the adventures and adverse challenges really create the best kind of people. I feel like I have seen the same shift in myself. As I've dealt with good days and bad days, I've grown so much here at T. School has always been somewhat easy for me, as I've never had to put much effort in to get the outcome I've wanted. I didn't have to worry about grades or failed tests because because not much was expected of me. So when I came into 8th grade, I was feeling ready and excited. But when the curriculum became hard and the work got more rigorous, I was left behind. I've always struggled to ask for help because I don't want people to know that I'm not doing as well as I may seem. But lately I've been trying to make a conscious effort to ask for help and admit my faults. The teachers in this community are so supportive of goals, and I've learned that most adults value honesty rather than "oh yeah, don't worry, I'm doing great." It's hard to be honest in this way because most people aren't. But I don't feel like I need to fit in anymore, and learning to advocate for myself is a part of that. I'm less willing to let things go or not question authority now than ever before. I've been through a lot in my middle school experience, and all of it, the best and the worst, has made me who I am today. I can't give all these shout outs without mentioning my biggest supporter. My little brother, Malachi, and I have the best bond. I could not have asked for a better friend during this tough time in my life, and he has stood by my side through thick and thin, and has been my cheerleader from day one. He can definitely get on my nerves sometimes, but he is the one thing in my life that has never changed or faltered. If I ever stress about friends or schoolwork, I've never stressed about my relationship with him. I trust him with my life, and I'd do anything for him. You're going big places, Malachi, and I'm so proud to be a part of that. When you stop searching for the people you fit in with, and learn to be alone, you find the spaces and the people where you can finally breathe. Whether we are having quiet moments during hard days, watching movies, stealing candy, or sharing deep conversations, I no longer question my friendships because I know that even if the worst happens and we drift apart, I don't have to fear loneliness. I can rest in the fact that I can be happy and comfortable on my own, but I will never complain about having friends along for the ride. So, if you ever feel like you don't fit in, it's not that you don't belong, it's that you're trying to fit somewhere that wasn't made for you. Thank you.